Hey everybody, Rorree here. Today we are talking about the Temple of Warriors. We are in our Goddess Initiation book tonight. All right, so today we are going to be speaking about Oya. So I hope you all had a nice little break. We took some time away from our Goddess Initiation book, but now we're back. So, all right, let's see. So we're talking about Oya tonight. All right, so let me do a screen share. Give me 1 second. Okay, Temple of Warriors, here we go. All right, so now let me go back to Zoom. Alrighty. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. Got on this little crop top thing, keep it rolling up and whatever. Okay, so let's see. Share screen. And this is what we want to share right here. Share. All right, so now let me fix it all. All right, so we are in the Temple of Warriors. All righty. And we are talking about Oya tonight. And actually, I'm going to move me over here, but I am going to put it in. No, I'm not going to put it in edit mode. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to share with you a couple of videos about Oya where we can just listen and hear a little bit about her. And then we will go into what Abiola Abrams has to say about the Orisha, Oya.
Hello, you all. I am Black Witch Yaya. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Come on into the sanctuary. Make yourself comfortable. You guys have made it very clear that you want to hear the story of Oya next, so here we go. Like I said at the beginning of every video, spirituality is intuitive. So the way you digest it, someone else may not digest it. This story may sound completely unfamiliar to you, or it may sound very familiar to you. It just depends on who you get your teachings from. This is done strictly from my boyfriend and my own research as well. You can check out his channel, The Baron. So if you heard a different story, I don't want to hear that ain't what my grandmama told me. She told me that. Just let us know down in the comments what you heard. Did not get disrespectful, okay? So let's jump straight into the story. But before we get into the story, let's go over the crystal of the day. And today it's a combination that I made myself, and it's actually the signature line of all my crystals. I like to call this the elephant ear. It consists of the Botswana agate, which you have right here, and the Ankh right in the center. So with the Ankh and the Botswana agate paired together, this combination will remove mental roadblocks to have a better understanding of messages from the universe and how to apply them to everyday life. So Oya is one of the most difficult female Orishas to fathom. And throughout this story, you will figure out why. But let's start from her earlier life. So Oya was one of the first wives of Ogun until, of course, Shango came along. And Shango, we'll learn about him in a different video. But like I always mention in my other videos, if you haven't caught on, Shango is the Orisha version of Mr. Steal Your Girl. So, of course, he saw Oya, was like, oh, I want that. So he just took her right away from Ogun. So she then became the wife of Shango, the sister wife of Shango. To understand Oya is to understand a relationship she had with Shango and Ogun as well, because that later plays a role into who she became in her later life. So when Shango initially took Oya away from Ogun, Oya got to work. She was her sneaky, conniving, wanted to know what all. I got to be in the know. I'm the decision maker. She basically tapped right back into that role no matter who her husband was. So when Shango snuck her into his home, she had to wander around, see what's going on. So then she saw this pot, this random pot. It was actually a magical pot, but she didn't know that at the time. So she opened up the pot and she seen there was like a mixture in there. So she tasted just a little. And then immediately, as soon as she tasted, she realized that was the secret behind Shango's lightning and thunder. And this was a secret held on for a while. People just knew he had the power to do it. They didn't know where it come from, but it was all within this magical pot. And she found it, she tasted, so immediately she gained power to be over thunder. So with the New World translation of that mini story, they actually say that Shango was busy flirting with Oshun, and Oya was so enraged that she immediately went to the pot and took some of his power away, just so she could be almost as powerful as him. So basically within those two stories, Oya took some of Shango's power and she became over thunder because she was originally over just the last breath you take before you die, that transition phase. And we'll learn more about that within the story a little later. So with that, Shango kind of already knew the type of girl he was working with. Oya played no games, okay? During Shango's and Oya's relationship, Oya was basically the decision maker. She really wore the pants in the relationship. You know those relationships where the guy's like, hold on, I gotta ask my wife. Hold on, I gotta ask my wife. And that was Shango. He knew there was no decision that should be made unless it went through Oya. And she basically convinced him to do a lot of things. And she was causing a lot of trouble just because she likes to be in control and sometimes causes scene. Much so, one time Oya convinced Shango to put his two rival generals against each other in hopes that they would kill each other. So during that fight, one survived, and he was so upset that Oya and Shango set him up to do that he banished them from the kingdom. Shango was so embarrassed and so hurt that he fell for it, that he made them do that he actually hung himself from a tree. And then that was the moment that he transitioned from human form to the life of an Orisha. And with Oya feeling bad as well, she did the same thing. She was upset that she made Shango do that. She felt bad that her husband was now gone. So she actually drowned herself in the Niger River, and she transitioned over to be an Orisha as well. So dealing with Oya and Shango's relationship, there was a lot of conflict because Shango, of course, I'll do a video on him, but he was being Shango with other females, and that really upset Oya. And you guys will learn later on in this story, when Oya gets upset, it's like 0 to 100. You will know when she gets upset. So due to that conflict, they found out they might as well not be together, but they came to an understanding that they still had to work together because, of course, thunder and lightning for storms. So speaking of storms, this is when we really get into Oya. So storms may seem random. They might pop up out of nowhere, especially here in Florida. It'll be sunny for 1 minute, a whole mini hurricane the next, and then it'll be back sunny in like an hour or two. They may seem random, but they're actually, in fact, planned out. Due to the fact that Oya loses her temper quick, like it's just in a hurry, many people feel like it's just sporadic and out of nowhere, when everything she does is actually planned out to the T. And that's the same thing when it comes with storms. So of course, storms is a representation that Oya is upset. Okay, something's going on. And a little fun fact, Oya is over thunder, Shango produces lightning. And just something that I learned in science and I really learned to apply it here. If you measure out between seconds when you hear thunder, count how many seconds of lightning, and that shows how many miles between the lightning is from the thunder. So they really work hand in hand, and that's really why they had to come to an understanding in the first place. But Shango being Shango with other females, they knew they still had to work together because you really can't have one without the other. And with thunder, you notice that thunder is almost like a warning sign. It could be sunny, then all of a sudden you hear thunder, you know a storm is about to come, let me go home. It's like a warning sign. So many people in other Orishas found out when they heard thunder, they knew Oya was upset about something. And this also applies to tornadoes as well. If you guys know about tornadoes or unfortunately have been a victim of one, you will notice that tornadoes kind of skip. It'll be down on the path for a while, hop up, then land somewhere else, hop up and land somewhere else. Just when you think you know the pattern of a tornado, you might know the area it's going to be in, but you just never know the exact path it's going to take. That's basically Oya as well. So with her being over tornadoes, you will see a path and it'll skip, go somewhere else, skip. It may seem random and sporadic, but of course, like I said before, it's actually planned out. And with her, you just think she might hit the next house, then it'll skip and go somewhere else. That's why when storms are coming or bad weather in general, or people know that a tornado is coming, instead of asking Oya for something, they generally just ask her for protection and just to spare their life. So Oya will come in, destroy everything around you. You might be devastated, but Oya is the type like, but did you die though? In your prayer, instead of asking for like awards or favors, your favor and your award is basically your life. You're still living. She might have caused chaos from everything around you, but you're okay. So that's your award. So sticking on the topic of weather, with weather being able to change the landscape of an area, the fortunes that you may have, that's what makes Oya over change as well. From rich to poor, low to high, happy to angry. And that's what I was mentioning before, that we are able to tap into her energy every single day, but we try not to. We try not to get ourselves angry. We try not to get too upset or get worked up over things. But if you find yourself, you're easily angered, easily triggered, you get frustrated, irritable, one little thing goes wrong in your day and you going off on everybody, you might just be the daughter or son of Oya. Yeah. So with her being overchanged, there's no greater change than, that's right, death. Death is the most major transition you will ever take in your life. So, of course, Oya is over that as well, which is what I mentioned before. She was originally over the last breath you take before you die, basically that transition phase. And with that transition phase going from earth to ground, or ancestor, basically. She is also the gatekeeper of the cemetery. And with her working so closely to the dead and dead people, she likes to adorn herself in dark colors. And usually her daughters and sons represent her by wearing dark red beads. Of course, I had to wear my dark red. Y'all know I like to match the theme of the video. So with Oya carrying so many roles, she's over the last breath you take. She's over change. She's the gatekeeper to the cemetery. You got thunder. You got tornadoes. You got emotions. Of course, that leads her to being the most fearless female Orisha there is. And of course, that is obvious because, for goodness sake, she found the secret to Shango's thunder and lightning. And while she was with Ogul, she took his instruments to make war idols. Oya is Nuck if you buck. She is ready for a fight. And with that, she is the only female Orisha that will stand side by side with men during times of battle. With that, she is considered a bearded woman because she has so much masculine energy and strength and just fearless. Many people call the children of Oya and Oya herself the woman who grows a beard on account of war. So just to get a better understanding of Oya, with her naturally having a sense of outrage and anger mixed with the instrument she took from Ogun to make war idols, which is why she always has a weapon in her hand, whether it's a sword, a whip, she got something, she ready to fight. Mix that with the secret that she took from Shango to give her access in the role and the power over thunder. You got a bad mama jamma. Like, another story of Oya and how she finessed somebody, basically. She found the secret that Osian was hiding of the magical herbs and secrets of the magic world. So originally, it was only him that had access to all that. So she found that he was hiding it in the tree. So what did she do? She caused a storm to knock it down from the tree and basically to flood the floor of the woods. So, of course, Osian had gathered most of his treasures back up, but not before the other Orishas could take a little bit of each one. Hence why when you do magical spells, you tap into different Orishas because they were able to get a little something from Osian's treasure, but that is a separate video. So let's talk about if you are the son of daughter of Oya, some tidbits that you can look for. If you are easily angered. And I know some people be like, oh, I am just so annoyed. I'm so irritated. No, not that. This is like on another level. If someone messes up your order at a restaurant, all hell about to break loose, okay? It's like, if you find that people are around you like, oh God, I got to tell her this, she about to go off. How are we going to do this, y'all? If people got to do a pep talk just to talk to you about something, yeah. So just another little fun fact from a tale that is told. Oya and Yemaya, they don't get along like that. Why? Because Yemaya is a mother. She's very nurturing. So sometimes when Shango causes a scene, she's like, oh, baby, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Stop it. And Oya is basically like, he's a grown man. What are you doing? Stop babying him. If he wants to destroy, let him destroy. You know, Oya want a scene. If he wants to destroy, let him do it. He knows what he is doing. And Yemaya's like, no, he doesn't know any better. So, of course, Yemaya is all sweet and tender to Shango. except one time of the year. And this is mainly for if you live on the borders or mainly in Florida here, hurricane season. So what's the significance of hurricane season? Why in one time of year, it seems to be that Oya, Shango, and Yemaya get upset. During this time, Yemaya gets upset because she remembers during the passage of when slaves were brought from Africa to the New World that Shango didn't do a dang on thing. He was too busy up in female faces to give the slaves the strength and the courage just to basically take down the colonizers and go back to their homeland. Like Yemaya really felt like, okay, I'll guide them and I'll protect them from my waters if you could just give them the strength, Shango, to fight. But Shango was too busy up in female faces and he just decided to not do a thing. So during that time, which is hurricane season, Yemaya reflects and thinks back that Shango didn't do anything to help out. So she gets enraged, she gets upset because she knows the world would be totally different than what it is now. So when she gets upset, her waters start roaring. She starts stirring up stuff, hence why hurricanes start in the water. And then, Oya comes out, boom, 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 thunder. And you can't have thunder without lightning. So basically, it's like one big argument. Shango's upset that Yemaya's upset. Yemaya's upset that Shango didn't do anything. And Oya's just basically in between, like, I'm just here, okay? Children of Oya are considered the rushing winds that take down trees from the top, not the bottom. You take it down from the top. Like, But something good that comes along with it. Children of Oya know how to make some money. Okay, they know how to hustle. They know how to go out there, get what they want, because they naturally got that eagerness, that energy behind it, so they know how to make money. But we will do a separate video on how to tell if you're the children of whoever. But if you just want a direct answer, you can always book an Orisha reading. Always link down below. All right, my mermaids and mermans, that was the story of Oya. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oya is one of the many Orishas that I will have to do a separate video on because there's so many stories within her journey. This video would have been 2-3 hours long, but just to teach you guys the basics and just have a foundation for my next video that you could build upon, I wanted to cover just the surface because Oya, she's different, okay? But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Let me know down below which Orisha you want me to cover next. I'm thinking Shango because he has literally been mentioned in all of the Orisha videos. I feel like it's time to discover his story. But if you guys have another idea, just let me know down below. Always remember, as above, so below, as within, so without.
All right, so that was those were a couple of stories of Oya, and in the book Abiola mentions a story as well. So, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. And let's see. I'm trying to think which one is which. Okay, this is that one, that one. That's the meditation. Okay, so I'm going to do this one next, and then we will get into the talk. Make sure you're muted, everybody.
Shall have no other gods before him. Welcome back to another edition of Mythical Beings and Deities. On this show, I will venture throughout time and history to discuss a wide range of deities which have been worshipped, praised, and had stories told on their behalf from all over the world. Hope you enjoy this segment. And leave a comment below if you have any suggestions of deities you'd like us to discuss. On today's episode, I'll be discussing Oya, the warrior goddess of the storms. Oya may be considered the most powerful African goddess / Orisha, a warrior queen and the sister wife of the god Shango, to whom she gave the power to create storms. Much of Oya's energy is rooted in the natural world. She is the goddess of thunder, lightning, tornadoes, winds, rainstorms, and hurricanes. Oya is an Orisha of violent storms, death, and rebirth. She is similar to the Haitian god Maman Bridget, who is syncretized with Catholic Saint Bridget. In Yoruba, the name Oya means she tore, as in she tore through the clouds. She is known as Oya Eyansan, the mother of 9, because 9 of the children she gave birth to at the time of conception were stillborn, suffering a lifetime of barrenness. She is the patron of the Niger River, known to the Yoruba as the Odo Oya. As a fiery goddess, it is Oya who brings rapid change and aids us in both inner and outer transformation. Oya is the guardian of the realm between life and death. As such, she is not only the goddess of spirit communication, funerals, and cemeteries, but also the goddess of clairvoyance, psychic abilities, intuition, and rebirth. She can call forth the spirit of death or hold it back. Such is the extent of her power. Because of her affiliation to the dead and her intense knowledge of the magic arts, Oya is also known as the great mother of the elders of the night, aka witches. Oya is both loved and feared, and for good reason. When unleashed, Oya is the savage warrior, the protective mother, she whose power sweeps all injustice, deceit, and dishonesty in her path. She will destroy villages if the need is true enough. For while she understands everything, she will only accept, act upon, and speak the truth, even when it is hard to hear. Oya is the protector of women and patron of feminine leadership. Fiercely loving, she is widely unpredictable and can change from benevolent, caring mother to destructive warrior in the blink of an eye. Passionate, fearless, sensual, and independent, Oya is not a goddess to be invoked lightly and must be treated with respect and care at all times. While she will toss you in her storms of change and shelter you in her caring embrace, she will also strike you down with her lightning should the need arise. However, do not let that dissuade you from working with Oya. She is the strong woman, bringer of change, and seeker of truth, who can be a most powerful ally. In Africa, Oya is pronounced Oya, the Yoruba goddess of the weather, especially lightning, destructive rainstorms, fire, female leadership, persuasive charm, and transformation. She is also one of the most powerful of the Brazilian Macumba deities. When women find themselves in hard to resolve conflicts, she is the one to call on for protection and exhibiting 9 whirlwinds, 9 being her sacred number. She's depicted here with a turban twisted to appear like buffalo's horns, for it is said she assumed the shape of a buffalo when wedded to Ogun, the Orisha of iron and war. Oya is the powerful Yoruba goddess of the winds of change, the primeval mother of chaos, queen of the Nile, for the 9 tributaries of the Niger River. Using her machete or sword of truth, she cuts through stagnation and clears the way for new growth. She does what needs to be done. She is the wild woman, the force of change, lightning, fire, tornadoes, earthquakes, and storms of all kinds are ruled by Oya. She is also queen of the marketplace, a shrewd businesswoman, and adept with forces. As the wind, she is the first breath and the last, the one who carries the spirits of the dead to the other world, which is why she is associated with cemeteries and death. Oya is known as a fierce warrior and strong protector of women, who call on her to settle disputes in their favor. As the goddess of change, she brings down the dead wood to make room for the new, and she uses her machete or sword to clear a path for growth. She's believed to watch over the newly dead and assist them as they make the transition from life. She is equated with the golden iron, Carmen Bridget, who, like Oya, guards graveyards. Oya is the goddess of the Niger River, and her violent rainstorms are said to be extinct. Just like Ocean, she is worshipped not only in Africa, but also in Brazil, where the Amazon is said to be her river, and where she is equated with the Virgin Mary. Oya, who is a goddess of a very fiery demeanor, also seems to have a far-flung connection with other female saints and deities from across the world. Oya's attributes are the sword or machete and the fly whisk, and her animal is the water buffalo, in whom she sometimes manifests. Her mother is said to be Yamaya, the great sea mother. Oya herself is said to be the mother of 9 children, a Gungun, and 4 sets of twins. Oya storms into your life to tell me change is calling, beckoning, and campaigning out on your doors. The way to wholeness for you lies in embracing change. I've been too busy, too stressed to attend the changes needed in your life to nurture yourself. In change so fearful, a concept that you push it aside, play hide and seek with it, or just ignore it. Have you arranged your life so perfect that there is no room left for potential? Time for change. Time to sweep out, sweep up, and be swept away. Perhaps you are in the midst of change and are having trouble accepting it. Resistance to change brings more persistent change. Choosing to dance with change means you will flow with it. Let yourself be unsettled. Prepare yourself for growth. Enter deeply into change's chaotic dance, and you'll be richly blessed with abundant possibility. It is time for something completely different. The goddess Oya says that the earth must be dug up before anything can be planted, and that change always brings you what you need on your path to wholeness. If you enjoy this content and would like to hear more information,
All right. Okay. All right. So now let me go into this part. Let me make this larger. How about that? All right. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the healing meditation right now because I want to do a quick energy check after we finish talking about Oya, but you all can definitely come back and do this healing meditation based on Oya. All right, so now we're going to go into what we have in our Goddess Initiation book about Oya. All right, so as you have already heard, and actually the second guy, he gave like almost all the information that Abiola gave, but I'll still go through this anyway. All right, so Oya is the goddess of storms. And I'm not even going to get into that because you can see it through the first story, through the stories that Black Witch Yaya told, and this gentleman here. You know what her tools are, and you know how she was able to get to use the lightning, and how she got that from Shango. So if you were late, definitely listen to the replay so you can hear how she got some of her powers. But anyway, so the winds changes are in motion and they're not always slow. So I'm just going to paraphrase what Abiola was saying. So because Oya is all about wind and storms and change, sometimes change can come in slowly, sometimes change can come in swiftly. So if you use the energies of Oya, or if Oya governs your head or your feet, if you're a part of the Yoruba traditions, then you might see that sometimes when you go for something, it could come really fast, or it could come in like a whirlwind. Sometimes things could come in like a thief in the night. If you want something to come in and you want it to come in quickly, you might use the energies of Oyas. You may do a meditation or something geared towards her and try to channel her energy. And then you may want to give a little offering if you do ask her for assistance in manifesting something. All right. So, and when we get into her colors and everything, then I'll go into some of that. But for example, we discussed a couple weeks ago how someone shared that their goal was to release a position where she didn't feel valued, where she wasn't getting paid her worth, she wasn't valued or whatever. And then like a week later, she was laid off. And that's how Oya works. And I think Oya rules that person's feet. Oya rules my head. All right. So anyway, and you heard in some of it where it talked about how if you are a child of Oya, meaning Oya governs your head or your feet, you could be fiery, you know, like Black Witch Yaya said that if Oya governs your head, you might be that person at a restaurant where if somebody messes up your order, like you are going off on that person, or you're really tough to deal with. And I know when I was younger, I was that person. I was tough to deal with if the order wasn't right, or if something with restaurants, I used to pluck my nerves back in the day. And but I'm not like that anymore, but I did used to be like that, no joke, you know. So if you find yourself kind of flying off at the handle or getting really upset and irritated on like little things, you might be a child of Oya. So anyway, I'm going to read this story that's on page 124 and 125. Great goddess Oya, keeper of mysteries, we see you. What and it's kind of dark in here. Let me turn the light on. I don't have my lights on tonight. All right, we see you. We say your name, great spirit of the wind, mother of nine, wielding her sword of truth. Oya is one of the most powerful of the Orishas. Consider her the goddess of storms and lightning. Storms bring swift, rapid, uncontrollable change, and at times chaos. So that's something that could happen because, like, let's say you want something and you're working with Oya, or Oya is like a part of you, you may create chaos to create results, or you know, you may get your journey may have chaos involved in your journey, or things may look like they are chaotic or uncontrollable, or the change might just look a little abrupt and not smooth. All right. The name Oya means she tore in Yoruba, and they mentioned that in the second video. But Oya can also be as warm and soothing as a summer drizzle. Didn't you hear? Oya was either originally an antelope with a secret ability to shapeshift into a person, or the reverse. Now, is the antelope the same as a water buffalo? Because I know they mentioned water buffalo, I thought, or that she was a buffalo or something when she was married to Ogun. So I don't know, maybe she was both, I don't know. And that's the thing about the Orisha stories. These stories are handed down. So you may find different versions of the story depending on who's telling the story, because everything was word of mouth, passed down, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. One thing that I'm going to say about Oya is her characteristics and traits remind me a lot of Goddess Isis. And although they're not the same, and I've asked if Oya is an incarnation of Isis, she is not, but I bet that her teachings may have come from Isis or from Mami Wata, who is an incarnation of goddess Isis. So anyway, but as I listen to Oya's characteristics, it's interesting that, you know, I'm the incarnation of Isis, and Oya is so much like Isis characteristic wise. And she came in guarding my head. That's very interesting. And then one of the Orisha that came in with me to guide me through this lifetime, even though she doesn't guard my head or my feet, was Yemaya. And Yemaya and Oya don't quite get along. So it's interesting that they would both be in my midst. So, but anyway, all right, I digress. So let me get back to this. All right, so when she removed her antelope skin, she would reveal a breathtaking woman. One day, Oya was in the marketplace, and Shango, god of thunder, became entranced by her beauty. He followed her and saw her turn back into an antelope. But he was distraught. No, I'm sorry. He was distraught when he saw her turning back into an antelope. He couldn't marry an antelope. Okay. Okay. But Shango wanted Oya with him forever. So he hid her antelope skin in the sky when she became a woman again. Shango's wives, beautiful love goddess Oshun and lightning goddess Oba, weren't happy about these developments. So he had two other wives, Oshun and Oba, and they weren't happy that he married Oya as well. Oya became Shango's favorite and the most loyal wife. And that's the other thing, loyal. She was a loyal wife. I'm a loyal person. And goddess Isis, is a very loyal wife. So I'm just looking at the similarities in these different characters or beings, I should say. All right. But Oya goes ahead of him in every fight. Where am I at? I'm sorry. Okay. She was a favorite wife. She even out thunders him. When Shango speaks, he breathes fire, but Oya goes ahead of him in every fight. She is known as the white who is fiercer than her husband. When this warrior goddess waves her arms with her 9 copper bracelets and 9 colors in her skirt representing her 9 children, any fight is over. After all, Oya can walk through fire without getting burned. How are storms? Powerful and confronting with nowhere to hide, right? Oya wields her power during winds, rainstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, thunders, and lightning, nature's most ominous forces. She represents sweeping change, destroying the old to make room for the new. Word on the street is that she and Oshun don't get along. Throughout the Caribbean and South America, Oya's energy shifts a bit from her Nigerian persona, and she also protects cemeteries, making armies of the dead and fights with machetes. Her death and rebirth persona was born in a diaspora. In Western culture, the daughter of Yemaya became the superhero Storm, a member of the X-Men played on screen by Halle Berry, Alexandra Shipp, Jill Scott voiceover, and others. Oya is eternal. So is Mama Oya. So is Mama Oya friend or foe? Put it this way: do you want to be going with the storm or against it? Rain has the power to create and destroy. excuse me, you want Oya on your side. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to read that directly from there because I did not want to paraphrase it. Okay. All right. So, how do we honor Oya? You can channel her energy, you can invoke her energy. You can, when it's storming, you can recognize her, you can pray to her. What else does it say? It says, know that you are ready when obstacles come. But anyway, I'll let you guys read this. But when you are working with Oya, you definitely have to know with absolute certainty that you are protected, that she's got your back, you know, because she is a fierce warrior. Some of her symbols are the antelope horns, or the buffalo horns, or whatever. I don't know, depending on which one you feel that she had or she was. The horns might be painted red and placed on a shrine. She wears 9 copper bangles. And so if you become an initiate of Oya, you would be given 9 copper bangles to wear, and you would wear those bangles and jiggle those bangles, especially if you go to the cemetery, you would jiggle the bangles. And I think it wards off the spirits in the cemetery so that you can do what you need to do, because she would help the spirits to cross over, right? And then help them while they're in the midst of crossing over, because I learned the other day that sometimes it takes 40 to 72 days for the spirit to actually cross over to where it's going to go. So Oya is part of that process. Goddess Isis is also part of that process. Oba is part of that process. Nephthys is part of that process of helping the spirits cross over successfully to where they're going to go. Another symbol is a lightning bolt, wind, water buffalo. Okay, so the antelopes and the water buffalo. Okay. And then she has a whip that's a black horsetail, and you'll see her with that, and she'll like whip that around. She uses that as one of her weapons. And copper. Her colors are deep reds, burgundies, and rainbow colors, and black. All right. And she usually wears a skirt that has multi-colors in it, at least 9. Well, it has 9 colors in it, like we said earlier, that represent her 9 children. Suggested offerings are red wine, shea butter, toys that move in the wind, like those spinning wheel things that you can blow and they move, 9 copper pennies, a sword. You could give her purple vegetables. Like sometimes my offering to her is a, what is that thing called? You could give her some purple grapes, but it's called eggplant. Sometimes I give her an eggplant as an offering. So, you know, but anyway, alternate names are Yansa, Iansa, and I think this is spelled wrong. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but that looks like a typo, so I'm not even going to go there with that. Mother of 9, mother of changes, and goddess of weather. And then there's some music. So I did put the music in here for you all. I was playing it earlier, but I wasn't recording the music. But if you want to listen to the music, you can. Then there is a ritual, and it's called Your Storm Ritual, calling in rapid lightning change. And it discussed writing down what you desire and what you don't desire and doing a ritual with that. And I do not want you all to do that because we have already focused on the deprogramming and reprogramming. And with the healing work that you have through that recorded healing, if you do an exercise like this, it may have you anchor in what you don't want. So I don't want you to do this ritual. I would prefer that you do the deprogramming and reprogramming ritual if you're looking for fast results. Okay, so I did not put the ritual in here. Now, down the line, if someone is watching this on the recording and you did not do the deprogramming and reprogramming ritual, I definitely suggest that you do it. But if you just want to do this one, I have done this many, many times, but the deprogramming and reprogramming is far better. The ritual is on page 128 and 129. All right, so that is it for Oya. I am going to pause the video and then we will do an energy check on those of you who are in the room. So I will see you all in the next one. Let me stop sharing and